involved in other activities earlier in your life?
I bowled a little bit, but I'm not very good at bowling. I was more in the gutter than I was down the center.
Baseball.
You know?
Baseball.
Oh yeah, baseball. I love baseball. That was my favorite sport when I was a young fella, baseball. See, I live 35 miles from Bathurst. And I played an exhibition game, I guess, and somebody seen that maybe you could make my teams. So they got me to play in Bathurst. So the first year I was there, I was only 18, and I played with the senior team. And then I got to know the younger guys, you know. So the next year I played with the junior ball, you know. But they played in the same league, but I played with more of my age. And we'd play in Moncton and Memorand Cook and play for the playoffs, you know. Always got beat, but we still played. Never won.
What position did you play?
I was pitching. I was a pitcher. And I'd play second base a little bit. Softball, I wasn't too bad in softball. Baseball, I couldn't hit. I could hit, but just the odd time, you know. Softball, I was, but not too bad in that.
But now, what is so attractive in baseball?
Oh, it's
really,
look,
I understand hockey, I understand some other games, but baseball
is a
why do you love it?
beautiful game. You see those guys picking up that ball going 100 miles an hour, and you got to duck from those balls sometimes. It's a good game. And when it looks so easy, you can hit the ball easy, but you can't hit the ball easy. The ball comes right at you and it curves over here, or it goes like this and goes down. It's a funny game to understand, but it's a good game. I like baseball. I love baseball. I watch it every night. She doesn't like it too much because she wants me to go upstairs to watch the games. She watches the TV down here. But every night at 7 o'clock, I'm upstairs watching the ball game, especially now with Toronto being so close to the playoffs. I love baseball. Hockey was very good too. I mean, it kept me going anyway. I had a chance to maybe do something, but I always refused it because at one time I got thrown out of school so often I wasn't very good in school at grade 9. And we played an exhibition game for Jacquet River when I was a kid against the Air Force in Chatham. And they beat us 6-3 or something like that because they were really strong, the Air Force guys. And this guy seen me and he asked me, he said, "Can I see the goaltender? I want to talk to him." I said, "It was me." I didn't know what he wanted. Well-dressed guy. He said, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "No, I don't know who you are." I said, "My name is Van Stoner. I'm the coach of hockey and all sports at the university in Chatham at the St. Thomas." He said, "How would you like to go to school here?" I said, "Hey, I couldn't do anything in school here. I was thrown to school of grade 9. I can't go to college." And I said, "Why?" He said, "I would like to see you play football for the team because you're pretty big. But he said, I'd like to see you playing hockey because I know you play hockey." I said, "Where are we going to play?" He said, "In the North Shore League." I said, "I can't play in the North Shore League." He said, "We'll have 4 hours a day practice." He said, "After you see all those pucks in 4 hours, you'll get good enough." And I said, "No, I don't have," kind of stupid. I said, "No." I lost a lot of education there. But in one way, I really am not sorry about it in one way. I done what I wanted to do. I always wanted to be a shovel operator, big machinery, and I got to do that. And be with nice people, and it's all I want to do in my life. As long as you have good friends, it's a lot better than money. Well, I was to be a shovel operator, big machinery operator, tractors and loaders. I was never really a miner, but then I got to be a contramite, a foreman, And after a while, we had big shifts in the open pit. I had 47 men. There was me, I was the captain, and I had 2 other shift bosses with me, And we had 47 men. So that went on for all the time I worked there. And you're not really a hard worker when you're a boss, but you always have the trouble always comes back to you. The boss is not always right. but he's always the boss. Remember that. Wherever you work, the boss is not always right. But you know, you have some people working with you. I get along with people because when I had some big moves in the mine, like shovels and all that kind of stuff, you know, a lot of big cables. You had 3,000 volts of electricity. You had all those cables along the road. Now, I knew what I was going to do when I was going to move. But when I had so many men, I'd say to the guy, how would we move this today? I don't know. And they would tell me something and done, you know, we had everything moving and there was no complaining. But if I went there and said, we're moving this way here, there you'd hear the complaining, you know. Let the guy have a little bit of input into the job. I don't care who you are. He might be the stupidest guy in the job, but he can give you a good idea sometime. I'm telling you, and you might have seen it yourself. And that's the way life goes on, eh? I mean, not everybody's smart because they're engineers, and I work with a lot of engineers. And some of them were very smart. They had good education, but not practical work experience, you know?
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about some of the installations, the sports installations that were in Murdochville, because you had a lot of things in Murdochville that we didn't have anywhere else. Or some of the
Yeah, well, Murdochville is one of the first covered rinks around this way, otherwise than Chandler. And we had swimming, big swimming pool in Murdochville, curling, unbelievable the curling. And we had softball, we had hockey, had basketball, and the kids all had something. We had good schools in Murdochville. Most of the kids that I know that was around there and all got good jobs.
Was it a dangerous place? Was it?
Well, it depends where you work. Yeah, underground we had good ventilation, good, you know, lots of air. It's when you have no air that you know. But we had really good ventilation underground. They had engineers working on that all the time. It was only after your blast, the big blasts, you know, the gas would go all over. But you weren't allowed underground for maybe an hour after, you know. It would circulate, lots of ventilation. And it could be dangerous if all depends where you work. Loose over your head falling, you know. Accidents with a machine. A few guys got killed that way there, yeah. I've seen a few guys get, you know, some were their own fault and some, you know. It's not an easy place to work. It's very dangerous. You got to have your light all the time. When you go down there and shut off your light there, oh my God. Yeah. It's really dark. And you hear glum, the water falling, you know. And it's a big town. There's 100 miles or 200 miles of road underground. You go down right down to 3,500, and it's a long ways down.
Because you were working outside in the...
I worked in the open pits outside on top of the mountains.
But sometimes you were going...
Yes, at the end, when the mines closed up there, they put me underground. Yeah, I was foreman underground there. When they do the drilling and that kind of stuff, yeah. I wasn't fussy about underground. I didn't have to work very hard, but I wasn't really fussy.